Good morning, Year 3. Welcome back to the second half of the summer term. I hope you're all refreshed and recovered, had a wonderful time in this incredible weather, and now we've got another 6 weeks or so to go. So today's lesson will be reading comprehension, and the ally will be to use examples from the poem to support my point of view. Now, this week we are going to focus on poetry for reading comprehension. So you will need to use the poem, look at the text, and answer questions using examples from the poem to support your point of view. There will be times where you will need to think much deeper. So most of the questions are very straightforward. They're what we call literal questions. You can find the answer in the poem. Now there'll be one or two questions that are much more difficult. So you'll have to think very carefully about the poem that you've read and decide on what you think is the best possible answer based on the information you've taken from the poem. So let's have a look at our first poem. So we need to watch a video. Now the video will give you an idea of the characters, what their mood is, how they're feeling, and so on. So let's first of all watch the video.
Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy Drew keeps copying my work, miss. What shall I do?
Go and sit in the hall, dear. Go and sit in the sink. Take your books on the roof, my lamb. Do whatever you think.
Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy Derek Drew keeps taking my rubber, miss. What shall I do?
Keep it in your hand, dear. Keep it up your vest. Swallow it, if you like, my love. Do you think best.
Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy Derek Drew keeps calling me rude names, miss. What shall I do?
Lock yourself in the cupboard, dear. Run away to sea. Do whatever you can, my flower, but don't ask me.
Okay, so on the left hand side you can see a copy of Please Mrs. Butler. It may help you, before you try and answer the comprehension questions, to read the poetry yourself. You can see that the narrator of the poem in the video was using different voices, one for Mrs. Butler and one for the pupil speaking. So that gives you an understanding of the character and their mood or how they're feeling. So let's now look at the questions on the right hand side. So you've got a top tip. Each question will follow the order of the poem to start at the top. Remember I talked about these are literal questions from number 1 to 6. All you need to do is search for the information or the answer that you require. It's in the text. So you've got question 1, what is the name of the teacher? Question number 2, what is the first thing Derek Drew does wrong? And then you are capable of reading the rest and answering those questions using the text to show your point of view. Now number 7 is more difficult, so you won't find the answer in the text. You have to think about what's been happening in the poem and work out the answer. Okay, and it does say in number 7, is this one or more than one pupil speaking to Miss Butler? Now of course you can say yes or no, but the second part to that question is, how do you know? So there are a number of possible answers, so don't feel as though there's only one. And question 8, once again, you won't necessarily find the answer in the text. You have to think about what's happened in the poem, what are the different characters saying, or what are they doing or advising, and then see if you can answer question 8. How would you feel or react if the teacher gave you this advice? So let's now move on to the next part of this lesson. So we're going to be looking at a second poem. So you have to use the poem once again to answer the questions using examples from the poem to support your point of view. Now, I'm going to read this one, and you'll hear a different voice here. So listen to the poem as it's being read.
I've writ on the wrong page, miss. My pencil went all blunt. My book was upside down, miss. My book was back to front. My margin's gone all crooked, miss. I've smudged mine with my scarf. I've rubbed a hole in the paper, miss. My ruler's broke in half. My works blew out the window, miss. My works fell in the bin. The legs dropped off my chair, miss. The ceiling's coming in. I've ate a poison apple, miss. I've held a poison pen. I think I'm being kidnapped, miss. So, can we start again?
Okay, there you are. That's what that poem sounds like. You can see that it is about people or pupils making excuses. So, top tip, is it the same child with lots of excuses or different children speaking? So think about that. Once again, there's more than one possible answer. So number one, which excuse is the funniest and why? So you need to give a reason. And this is a personal point of view. There's more than one possible answer. It's up to you. But you need to back it up with why. Number two, which excuse is the most dramatic and why? Now, dramatic in this sense could mean very emotional, very exciting, or very frightening. Question three, choose an excuse that is most unlikely to happen. And why is it unlikely? Question number four, how do you think the teacher's face changes as she hears each excuse? So think about the teacher's behaviour when she hears the pupils giving their excuses. And question five, how do you feel or react if a teacher how would you feel or react if a teacher gave this kind of advice? So that's a personal response to those parts of the poem. Right, let's move on. So, once you've done your work, remember you can email it to yr3@grange.harrow.sch.uk. We look forward to seeing your work, and we will get back to you, or I will get back to you as soon as possible. Now, I haven't explained this, but Miss Panata is back in school this week, so I'll be taking over the English for now. She's going to be working with a group of children in school. Don't know if you're aware, but the reception class year 1 and year 6, some of the children from that year are returning to school on Monday, which is, I'm recording this on Sunday, so it's tomorrow morning. So I will be doing the reading and the writing and the grammar in place of Miss Panata for a number of weeks. So good luck with the task. I look forward to reading your responses. Take care. Have an enjoyable day. Bye for now.